Good morning, folks. This morning's soap is from Bell Premium Supply Company. The scent of this soap is Original Barbershop. It comes in a screw top metal tin, 4 ounces of soap, filled to the top more or less, and it's a firm soap. You can kind of push your finger in there. And the, excuse me, it's relatively easy to scoop out and press into a bowl. It's fairly soft and pliable at that point. I also got the alum block without the rubber band, unscented witch hazel mentholated. I'm going to follow today's shave up with another barbershop scented aftershave. Thought it would be proper to do such a thing. Got it whipped up here in my favorite bowl. Got this bowl at a thrift store. Smooth bottom, whipped up pretty nice. This brush came by the way of Strike Gold Shave. It's got a synthetic knot in it. So 150, if that matters to anybody, but this is a pretty nice brush. He did a good job on restoring this brush. And the scent of this is, I've got the scent, I got it down below, so that way you don't have to trust my nose. Manny can tell you about that. But I've already put a hot towel to the face, and the shaver that I'm going to be using today is a shavette by the way of Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. It's called an Ibis. It's been a good long while since I shaved with this shaver. I've got a Personna X-Series blade in it. I think I got this shaver, I wanted to say back in 2016, July maybe. It's been a while. And he does not offer it anymore on his website. Douglas doesn't. But the upside of all that, I did find an old advertisement. Thor's unhappy. I can hear him meowing. The door's closed. I found an older advertisement for the shavette Ibis. And if you're wondering, Ibis is a bird. Phoenix, Ibis, in other words, birds. Starling, gotta get the theme there. Found the old advertisement, and my thoughts was, you know, when I was setting all this up, excuse me, is that the way I remember it was that it was an inexpensive shavette, and I found an old advertisement for it online. I put a link to it, and it was selling for, what was it, $10.95? Pretty inexpensive. It wasn't too long after that, if you looked out on eBay, you saw other shavers that looked an awful lot like this one. It's kind of one of those things Douglas mentions from time to time, is that when you come up with a design of something, then it seems like everybody else is making the same design. And he talks about that from time to time, which I understand can be a little bit frustrating. Got a link down below, like I said. Not only do I have the scent description, but a link for Bull and Bell, and I'll have one down for Marcos. Marcos, he's got he did a video about a week ago, close to a week, with Bull and Bell. Put a link down below. If I remember right, that video there was with a different scented soap from Bull and Bear. So you can, Bull and Bell. My wife got me saying that. Anyway, you can get his take on the soap also. Like from time to time it's mentioned that the scent is subjective. This one here, I can definitely pick up the talc, the powder. For some people they may not like that. For me, I think it sounds great. I mean, it smells great. Sounds like I keep on hearing Thor. Guess one of these days I'll invite him in. Let him be a part of the show. We'll go ahead and get started. It's been a good long moment since I shaved with this one. Oh, one more note about this particular design, if you should find it on a buy-sell trade or something of the sort. What I thought was pretty unique about this particular shaver is you notice it's got screws. In other words, you can tighten or loosen, take apart. And you notice it's got these plastic washers right here. what it is on the inside here at the pivot point on the inside, on each side, there's those plastic washers. So in other words, if they start to wear out and doesn't want to seem to tighten up and your scales get a little floppy, those little plastic washers might come in handy. May take a moment or two to, when you're shaving with a shaver like this, to figure out where your placement for your fingers will work best for you. It's just one of those things when it comes to shaving with a shavette or a straight razor. Placement of your fingers, whether you want to put 2 up front, if you want 3 up front, just depends on how the shaver's designed and where your fingers feel most comfortable at, for where you feel like you got the most control. Start out kind of relatively flat and then work it up just a tad bit up off the face. And when it comes to stretching, it's up to each individual on how much stretching they need to do. This is pretty cool. It's been a while since I shaved with it. Kind of start to remember how much I liked it. It is very surprising, that scale being like it is. You would think it would be difficult to work with, and for me, it from day one. I remember the first time I tried it, it was like, didn't bother me a bit. Just a very unique looking scale. Oh, by the way, of course, all metal. Those screws look to be brass. It's a shaver like this makes for a fun shave because it is such a unique shape. I'm going to be trying to be careful around my my bug bite. Its swellings went down finally. Looks like I survived, huh? Didn't catch it again. This lather was whipped up a little bit more on the thicker side of things than what I normally would. Now, normally with a shavette, I would shave with a wetter lather. Feels like it's going pretty good so far. Cross the grain on the cheeks will be fun. Kind of reminiscent of the days when I used to cut myself every time I try to do a cross the grain on the cheeks. I think I've mentioned it before. Every time I would put it up to my face, this would be the side I'd start with, and I'd whack myself every time, practically in the exact same spot. Got a lot better over time, but that was my, guess you might say, my trouble spot shaving when I first started. Wasn't doing too bad with the grain, wasn't doing too bad against the grain. Across the grain though, that's where my my weakness was at. This soap whipped up pretty quick too. I should mention that I had no problems lathering this in a bowl. I can still smell the scent, which is pretty good. If I'm still smelling it, then Scent strength must be up there. It's present, it's not overpowering. It is noticeable, in other words. It doesn't disappear on me, as goes for the scent. I don't think there's any chance the soap's going to disappear. I whipped it up kind of thick. A little bit different. Gets the grain. In my last video, I mentioned, if I remember right, I mentioned I was going to be shaving with a Jim Jr. with big light handle. Then realized after I shut the film off, the recorder, I realized that today is Sunday and it's shavette time. So it'll be Monday. It does, I don't think I mention it enough anymore. It does take quite a bit of attention to shave with one of these. And since it's been so long, I do get kind of focused. I guess I felt like I had a need to not talk as much during the strokes to give a better example of what it takes in the way of focus to make sure that you're not going to nick or cut yourself. It does. This kind of shaving takes a lot of focus. It's demanding, but that intensity by the time you get done, how great the shave turns out, to me, just it's all worthwhile. I will say that it's pretty fortunate that I do not have to do the fool's pass. In other words, shaving from the top of your lip towards your nose. I think I've got this side here pretty well. Don't see the need for a across the grain pass on this one. This side over here, it grows a little bit different, so I think I got the bulk of it a while ago. Yep, I think I did get it. Both sides grow similar, but slightly different. I only have one spot where it grows in a curlicue, so that part there is, I guess you might say, can be kind of interesting to catch sometimes. It's a pretty fun shaver. It looks very unique, attracts a lot of attention, because it does look like it might be kind of awkward to shave with since the scales are so big, but it really isn't, at least not for me. Like I say, the first time I tried it, I was really surprised on the balance. It didn't seem out of balance. It seemed to be just fine for me. Pretty cool. It's just that it's one of those things that you kind of fall into when you're rotating shavers in and out. I have the Feather Artist Club camisori style is just a breeze to shave with. Easy for me, just whip it around, done in no time. It just seems so natural to me. And it's one of those things, when I get one that I really like, I try not to shave with it too terribly much, because when I do, everything else gets neglected. Witch hazel. The shavers that I have that cover the toe and heel of a DE blade snapped in half, those to me are fun to shave with, because I'm not as concerned about the toe or the heel. Not that that's been much of a problem for me. It's that whacking across the grain. And the crease, the folds down here in my neck are the points I usually catch myself from time to time. Once you get used to shaving with one like this, and that's another thing that's nice about this, it does have a beveled edge. Wipe this off so you can kind of see what I want to talk about here. You kind of see the blade exposure there. It's not a whole lot, which helps out, but the toe and heel is exposed, and you can tell that it is beveled down through the air to help you get the angle that you're needing. You take that blade out, just shave without it. Practice removing the soap off of your face. Might make a world of difference, you know, when getting comfortable with the motion, how you want to hold it, especially with the folder. It may take a little while for you to figure out where you want your finger placement at. So not all folders are made the same length, they're not designed the same, so it might vary from folder to folder. It's been a while since I wore this one. Here of late, when I've used Clubman, it's been the classic vanilla. Wife's going to tell me I smell like an old man. It's just that this scent's been around for a long time. That's basically what's being said. It smells great. Once again, today's shaver was from Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. It's called the Ibis. And here's its unique shape. I do like this design right here. In some shavers, that's where I put my finger. It helps with control, and control as angle as well as pressure. Like I said, probably will be shaving with shavettes that I haven't shaved with in a while. Next one, I'm going to clean this one up. This one here is a WEC, and it takes the longer hair shaper blades, and this one here, may not be able to see it, but it's a sexta blade. I'm going to got a little bit of cleaning up I might need to do. Never shaved with this one. This one that I got a while back. I'm going to clean it up, and next Sunday I'm going to be shaving with this one. It has a nice weight to it. The scales are more or less plastic. I don't know if you can see that spacer in there. It's like an amber color. Pretty cool. I like that offset in the color. And this one here, it's all metal. So it does have weight up here. For me, that helps with using the weight of the shaver, sharpness of the blade. I like that sort of thing. Tomorrow, I've got one more soap from Bull and Bell, and it's going to be the one that I think Marco shaved with. And this is pretty good stuff. That was a good shave. Hope everybody's doing well on a Sunday morning. Stay safe and smooth shaves to you.